We're here for you.
Hi. I'd like to share our story with you today. Let me start with making the case why Central and Eastern Europe is actually a fantastic place for venture capital and impact investing in particular. There are a lot of myths about the CEE that are simply not true anymore. Did you know that every fourth European unicorn comes from the CEE? That makes 44 European unicorns, of which 17 are impact unicorns from CEE. The CEE VC ecosystem has been growing twice as fast as compared to the rest of Europe. And that all in combination with lower entry valuations, inexpensive tech talent, and founders really hungry to succeed, really qualify CEE as a huge potential opportunity. Our story. Silken and I have been active, volunteering, or working in the impact sector for over 2 decades each. Besides 10 years at Deloitte Consulting, I spent 10 years at Amnesty International as a board member and co-founded 5 impact hubs in the Czech Republic, now probably one of the largest social enterprises there. While Silke brings in a wealth of experience from the private equity, early stage investor, and philanthropy side. And together we just saw that there was really no mission-aligned seed capital for impact entrepreneurs. So we decided to address the gap, and we co-founded Tilia in 2017. So let's fast forward to today. We have fully invested our first vintage and celebrated our first exit. Datlab. And let me illustrate their systemic impact. Half of your taxes is spent on public tenders. That entails huge inefficiencies at best and corruption at worst. And all in all, Datlab's analytics and various tech tools enabling unprecedented transparency can unlock the additional potential of a staggering 1% of GDP per year. With our second vintage, we onboarded EIF as our anchor LP. We adopted Article 9 of SFDR and doubled down on our focus on the CEE and seed stage. If you look at our last 3 deals from Czech Republic, Estonia, and Austria, we've been consistently able to win over the trust of founders in heavily oversubscribed deals. And we've been co-investing with large international actors like Draper Associates or SOSV. And all 3 of these last 3 deals have a massive potential for disruption and also impact. But as you all know, none of the 17 SDGs are on track to be achieved by 2030. So there is so much work to do. So this is really an invitation to work together, to co-invest when possible, and co-create the future of CEE and beyond together. And if that sounds interesting, if that sounds good, let's grab a beer after that and talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question from the audience before you grab a beer or a lemonade or what have you with him? Any question? Selection committee?
Thank you so much for your presentation and for setting up this fund. As a Hungarian myself, I do value the work that you do. Unfortunately, do you feel alone? How do you bring people in? How do you convince them to come on? It feels to me sometimes that investors would rather invest into emerging markets than into Central and Eastern Europe. What's your feeling? What are the myths that you can help debunk?
Yeah, and there is a lot of myths, and I talked about it a little bit earlier. And I think some of it was true, to be honest, like 10, 15 years ago. But I think we've upped our game, and 25% of the unicorns, I know it's not a fair representation of what's going on, right? There's not the only thing, comes from the CE region. And you know, Estonia and other countries has been at the forefront of innovation when you look at it at the per capita intensity. And I think also Ukraine will really change the game going forward. So I believe we historically served as a bridge between the East and West, and North and South, and it's now coming to fruition again. And of course, there is a lot of explaining why it makes sense for investors, but we need to be aware that 35 years ago, it was illegal to be entrepreneur under the communist regime in our region, let alone social entrepreneur, let alone impact investor. So I think we need to be patient with that.
Thank you. Any other question? No? I have a question for you. What is your wish for your region in the coming years as an ecosystem builder?
My personal wish is that we will never let Ukraine alone, and we will support them to defend their homes and their families, and we will do what it takes to win, to prevail.
Thank you.